good morning.
Pull me down. I'm flying so high, I don't see the ground. Baby, you set my soul on fire. Every morning and every evening. And maybe we can't get any higher. But if you like to take a ride, we can discover what we're hiding. Taking your time and I sure don't mind. Whatever you do, my body's getting wild.
Hey, good morning, and welcome to another news edition of the Freight Trapping Podcast. And here we go. And good morning. Welcome to Freight Trapping News. I am your host, James Roberts, coming with you with news you can use in trucking. In today's top story, FMCSA is targeting ELDs, unfit carriers, in 2022. Now I'm serious, I was just playing. But that's the actual topic we're going to talk about real quick. We're going to be real quick this morning. Hey, man, first and foremost, man, stay fit. It is flu season. You still got COVID running around. The Omicron, I think that is. Hey, man, keep your bodies healthy. You're going in and out of different climates. Down here in Houston, man, Lord have mercy, man. We 85 one day. We 50 the next day. We're raining and chilly the next moment. I'm saying the next day, but this is all in the same day. You have 5 different seasons, 5 different climates in one day. So, guys, stay healthy, detox your body, take the necessary precautions to keep yourself healthy, because it's just really, really shaky out there when it comes to missing these flu, this pneumonia, this COVID. It's on you about the jab. I'm not neither here nor there. So that's not for me to say or do, and I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm saying or doing. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Keep yourself healthy as truckers. So it's 2 things I want to talk about today. First of all, I want to tell you this here, and I'm going to try to be really quick because I talk long, I'm long-winded, and I get off track sometimes, then I get back on track because I have these different side topics. But this is not really a live. This is just some news edition. So I'm going to really try to be quick. Does that make any sense? Okay. So FMCSA targeting ELDs, unfit carriers, in 2022, right? Agency is prioritizing what they're doing in 2022. And the proposal includes automatic braking, electronic ID numbers for all trucks. And this is according to the OMB. So this is what they're going to be targeting in 2022. And electronic ID numbers for all trucks. So I don't know. I don't get that, because you already have, some trucks don't have, what I'm trying to say. Some trucks don't have their own authority. So they're running under somebody else's DOT number. And yeah, all trucks can have the same DOT number because they're running under the same authority. Okay. So what they're saying is that all trucks that are on the highway, they're proposing that they get them electronic ID numbers. So basically, they want to keep track of where your truck is going. So if you have an electronic ID number, you automatically know that comes with a tracking device. So wherever your truck is, they can see where it is, what it's doing, how much you're running, when it's running, how long you're running. So those electronic ID numbers, talking about they just want them account for trucks, yeah, okay, whatever. It's going to be more than that. And it's going to be, those electronic ID numbers are going to be capable to do more than what you think they're saying they're going to be able to do, because artificial intelligence is real. So at the end of the day, electronic ID numbers, okay, just be prepared for that. That's some more stuff coming down the pipeline. Be prepared for that. Let's read this article real quick. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration will be proposing new rules in 2022 affecting ELDs, automatic emergency braking systems, and roadside inspections, according to the Office of Management and Budget. The Biden administration's latest agenda on regulatory and deregulatory actions published Friday, including 4 proposals that are currently in the pre-rule stage of FMCSA, with formal notices scheduled to be issued between March and June. Let's see if we can get to the meat of this. Among the planned proposed potential changes to the ELD rule that went into effect in stages between 2016 and 2019, many lessons have been learned by FMCSA staff. So basically, they're making some changes to the ruling. So a major concern raised by small business owner operators when the rule was being written was whether requiring ELD equipment in trucks, which are meant to improve compliance with hours of services, would lead to driver harassment by fleet owners. Okay? The results of a member survey conducted by the Owner-Operator Independent Driver Association, released in 2019 of February, found that a common theme among drivers on the effects of ELD was feeling rushed to take breaks when they do not need them, and focus to drive when they would rather take a break. So, like I said, with that, back in 2016, they said that all trucks needed to be equipped with ELDs, especially if you had any type of federal backing, if you had so many trucks and all that kind of thing. So that went into effect back in 2016. In another pre-rule being prepared by FMCSA, the agency will be seeking information and comment on the maintenance and operation of automatic brakes, your EEB system. So this is something that I think will go through when it comes to your brake system, when it comes to anything that needs to be monitored to stop an 80,000 pound vehicle. I think it will be passed. It'll go into effect, because now you're affecting the safety of the public. Because if you don't have the proper brake system on your truck, that is a major ticket. That's a major citation. You will be shut down at the weight scales, and you will be put out of service. That's why making sure that your brake lines, your brake chambers, your slack adjusters, making sure that all your nuts and bolts are tight, making sure that your system is in place and working properly is that much more important. So at the end of the day, I understand where they're coming from with the braking system, because that is very important. Without brakes, you can't do anything. Without brakes, you can't do anything. So if you have a proper brake system in place, you're good. The proposed rule will support an affiliate rule to be proposed next year by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to require or standardize EAB equipment performance on heavy trucks. NHTSA is planning a date of April 2022 for their AEB rulemaking proposal. So when they do that, just be prepared that when those 72-hour roadside checks come into effect, you will be pulled in, and that will be one of the things that they're looking for, is your EAB brake system. The next thing they'll be looking for is to make sure that your ELD systems are working properly. So in addition to improve law enforcement and talking target their efforts at high-risk operators. So that's what will be coming into effect. So they're really targeting at-risk carriers, those who don't want to get the ELD system, those who don't want to do proper maintenance on their trucks. And like I said, most of the time, if you rolling down the highway and your truck looks good, it's clean, it's washed, you don't have any trash in the dashboard, most of the time you won't get pulled over. But 9 times out of 10, if your truck look like it's not properly maintained, they'll pull you in. Let's listen to something.
FMCS are targeting LDs, unfit carriers in 2022. OMB's 2022 agenda for regulatory agencies includes proposals from FMCSA on LDs and carrier safety ratings.
So they're targeting you because at-risk drivers, they're trying to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Now remember that if your ELD data shuts down because they're moving over, I did something earlier in the month, I think maybe a month ago, on ELDs and the system that they're using. Remember, they're getting ready to change over from 3G to 5G. Remember that. Remember I said that. Now, when they're changing over from 3G to 5G, remember, your ELD system is on all of those bases. All of that Wi-Fi. You're on that. So if who's ever carrying your ELD Wi-Fi or who's ever carrying your Wi-Fi on your ELD, basically, they would have to move over to 5G, and they would have to do it in a timely fashion because of the fact that everybody's going over to that particular I want to say bandwidth, but I want to just say radio frequency or the Wi-Fi. So if your ELD is not compatible, or whoever you have your ELD system with, if they haven't updated their system, I think I said AT&T is going into effect, I think in March. They're moving over, I think it's either February or March. They're moving over to 5G. So you need to make sure that their system is in place, or else when you get pulled over and they do those roadsides, and that's what they're targeting next year, if your system hasn't been updated and you're not able to transmit those logs over to the DOT officer, that could be a ticket. Now let's get into what we did yesterday. Central Freight Line, because this is a story that we're watching. It's a hard hit story. Everybody's surprised that Central Freight Line is shutting down. This company is 96 years old. It's a Texas-based company, and everybody is just like, okay, what my friend gonna do? What my friend gonna do? If you have any type of empathy, I'm not. As drivers, we kind of, even though we work for different freight companies, as drivers, we still kind of depend on one another. We still see how y'all doing over there. Y'all good? Great. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a place in this industry, and everybody needs everybody to turn. So now that Central Freight Line has decided to shut its doors, we're like, okay, what my boy gonna do? How my boy doing? You know what I'm saying? I know he's gonna be able to bounce back, but will he be comfortable where he's going? Does he want to do this? So at the end of the day, we are all still praying and hoping for the best for the drivers and for the administration that has to walk away from a job that they've probably been at for 30 or 35, maybe 20, 15, 10, even for that driver who has just been hired with Central Freight Lines. Now he has to start over again. So at the end of the day, we all as drivers, the trucking community, the culture, we don't want to see anybody lose their job. We don't want to see anybody hurt. We don't want to see anybody have a wreck. We don't want to see any of that. Even though it's a competitive industry, you still are that guy that be like, bro, we got your back. We got you. And believe you me, I don't think those drivers, I know those drivers not going to be out of work for long. I think they'll land on their feet. I think Central Freight Lines, I think they're trying to do something to kind of offset, the fact that they have to close the doors. They have went into publicly saying that they are in contact with other freight trucking companies to see what they can do to kind of help their drivers transition over to another company and not just leave it out there for their own. Now, the unfortunate thing about this is that within a company, you have rules. Excuse me. Within a company, you have rules. So, say I get into an accident or get a ticket. Now, you may have 3 incidents in a 5-year period, right? To where you can have an accident, get a ticket. Then you go into driver review. Then they decide whether or not, they need to pull you out the truck for a year, put you on the dock, or do whatever with you for a year. And then, but some companies, they don't have that in place. They don't have a driver compliance in place, a driver safety. Some of them don't. Most of them do. So at the end of the day, the thing about what I'm finna say is this. If you're a driver and you have, maybe you've encountered, you had the unfortunate of having an accident, say it was a year ago, and still it hasn't dropped off your record. Or say you have a ticket or 2, and it hasn't dropped off your record because it hasn't been 3 years yet. Maybe it's been a year, maybe 2, maybe it's getting ready to drop off. Now, when Central Freight Line goes in to say, hey, I have this driver, he's been here 30 years, he's an excellent driver, this is the list. Can you go through and pick who you want? So once they go through and they pick who they want, and then they do an MVR check on you, and you're a good driver. It just so happens you got caught at the scale. It just so happens you got caught and you forgot to put a placard on your left side. All 3 sides are placard with flammable, but you forgot your left side. So you get pulled over for that. They give you a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Now you're faced with, well, we'll take him because those points are not coming with him. We'll take him. We're not taking him because those points, we don't want those points added to our safety team. We'll take him because he don't have any points. We'll take him because he don't have any with. Well, we won't take him because he has an accident, even though it was 2.5 years ago, it still hasn't fallen off. We don't want that to come over with the driver. That's what they're going. That's what we as drivers going to be faced with. That's why I say, hey man, try and keep your record as clean as possible. So let's move on. Central Freight Line confirms Estes Express offering to snap up drivers and buy equipment. The bottom line is our employees have a lot of job opportunities if they want them, Kellum says, after Freightways broke the news late Saturday night on the closure. They're going to be closing their doors and will lose jobs right before Christmas. CFL President Bruce Calum told Freightways late Monday that rival LTL carriers Estes Express Lines, headquartered in Richmond, Virginia, which has nearly nearly 8,100 drivers and 7,300 power units, is looking to add many of CFL's 1,325 drivers to its fleet. That's a plus. That's a plus. Even though you're finna leave out and lose a job before Christmas, maybe you can go right into the next job without having any delay. Any delay. He also confirmed that Estes has also made an offer on some of CFL's equipment, but added that other LTL carriers, including TFI, that's T-Force, Saya, and XPO, have also expressed interest in hiring many of the company's drivers, dock workers, and management personnel, and are looking at buying some of its equipment. While other companies have posted hiring notices on various social platforms, Kellum said Estes is making the aggressive effort of working directly with Central. So, Central is making an effort to make sure that their drivers don't be out of work for long, that they help them to just transition into other freight companies, the same lanes that they've been driving. They're just helping them to move over. And what that's going to do is, in my opinion, that's a business move for Estes. That means that now the freight that Central Freight Lines had will kind of shift over to Estes, right? But at the end of the day, that's not the only thing that they're hoping will shift over, because now you have different rates for different carriers. Estes Freight Line has a different rate than Central, right? Has a different rate than RTL, has a different rate than Old Dominion, has a different rate than Yellow, has a different rate than Saya. I know a lot of them drivers probably going to go over to Palletized. A lot of drivers probably going to go over and take the Estes jobs. But whatever the case may be, you have to ask yourself, okay, now how am I going? I've been at Central 30 years. I was at top pay. Most freight companies have a pay scale. Most companies, it's over a 3 or 4 or 5 year period. So now are you bringing me in at entry level, which is below what I was making? Are you bringing me in at mid level because of my experience, and you know I'm coming straight from an LTL? You don't have to train me on what to do. All you have to do is train me on how to use your systems, because you know they have different systems. So I know how to use the ELD. I just need to know how to do your side of the pickup and delivery. So now the driver had to ask himself, am I willing to take a pay cut? In my opinion, if I was in that position, yes. You're bringing me on? Yes. I have to be willing to make a pay cut, take a pay cut, because my company went out of business. And now I have to kind of figure out, do I want to stay in the same lane? Do I want to change lanes? Do I want to go to tankers? Do I want to go? What opportunities do I have out there? And how long can I sit at home and wait on opportunities, or pick and choose opportunities? Because a lot of drivers don't have $20,000 sitting in the bank to where they can sit up. A lot of drivers don't have that, especially if you're a new hire and you're coming in. I don't think that you have the opportunity. You probably, to sit around. I'm just thinking. I'm not counting nobody's pockets, but I'm just thinking. Because even if I do have it, me having this job or me working is making sure that I'm continuing to pour in to my nest egg, right? You don't want to hit your nest egg, start drawing from your nest egg too early. But I think it's a good thing that Estes is providing some relief to the drivers. I think that in my humble opinion, I think that Estes would be, I think that Estes, because I know where their company is, and I know what kind of warehouse they have. I think Estes could really, if they could afford it, buy the property that Central Freight Line has down here in Houston, where I am. I think that they could use their warehouse. That Central Freight Line warehouse has been there for almost 40 years, maybe longer. That Central Freight Line warehouse here in Houston on the north side off of Mesa, man, that has been there for like almost 40, 50 years. I started out working there in high school. That's how long it's been there. I've been out of high school almost 30 years. So at the end of the day, I think that Estes is doing a hell of a job trying to help relieve some of the drivers of the headache of not knowing the unknown for the future. Shout out to Estes. And shout out to some of the other carriers. Now, they may not take the hard line that Estes taking, whereas they may be in straight higher mode with Central, like I just described earlier. Like, okay, Central, give me a list. What do you think? You guys give me their MVRs. They're probably making Central send me over their MVRs, send me over their driver records. Let us go through your drivers, and then we'll pick and choose. We'll cherry pick which ones we want. We're going to offer positions to, right? Whereas the other ones, T4s, Saab, Palletized, XPO, Old Dominion, RTL, FedEx, even some other companies like Airgas that some of those drivers have tanker experience. Airgas, Air Products, Trimac, Linden, Messer Gas, Prex Air, Lindy, a lot of those other companies, where those companies are in other lanes. You have guys that has come from those other lanes to the freight lanes, but they have experience running tankers. They have experience hauling N2O2, oxygen, and helium. Maybe they want to go back there. So guess what? It's opportunities abound, but Estes is the only one taking a straight line to Central Freight Line saying, hey, and I'm just guessing. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but I'm just guessing. Being that they're saying that Estes is taking a hard line toward helping relieve and assist them with getting those drivers placed, I'm just thinking that they're saying, hey, send me over the driver record. Send me over the MVR. Send me over everything you have on a driver. Send me the list and let us look at their MVRs and let us cherry pick and then let us offer them positions. Central has a lot of equipment, trucks and trailers and forklifts that will be sold off, auctioned off, and they will not be there long. I guarantee you, because right now companies have trucks that are down and they need equipment, and the reason why they can't get equipment is because you're having a surge of container ships stuck in the ports. They're stuck out there on the water, and they can't get the equipment to the ports fast enough to get these trucks repaired. So guess what? The only issue with buying a truck from Central or from anybody is that you get that truck and it still needs the repairs that you're trying to avoid. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only issue. But shout out to Estes, man, for taking that straight line. Shout out to anybody else who say, hey, keep this under the table. Do not go public with it. If you go public with it, it's off the table. It's something going on like that. So they have an NDA. Somebody probably has an NDA with Central Freight Line. Don't say nothing until we say something. If you say something, we're going to deny it, and it's off the table. Something like that could be happening also. You never know. It could be a big push to go in and say, hey, no, stop, hold what you're doing, keep your drivers. We want to buy your company. We'll purchase your debt. We'll clear your debt, but you have to turn the company over to us. Continue to do what you're doing. We'll come in and we'll streamline everything. We'll get everything put together. We'll come in and see what needs to be fixed. And maybe there's somebody under the table like that. You never know. Maybe they put together a group. Maybe they put together a group, and they went in and everybody has put in about. Everybody has equated about. I think it may take about $5 billion to with everything they say that was happening with the debt and all that kind of stuff. I think it'll take about $5 billion to go in, purchase Central Freight Lines, and then streamline it, get it to where you want it to be, and fix everything that needs to be broken. That's what I think. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, man, shout out to Estes. I always, when I hear about something, I come on and I want to break the news. I want to bring the news. I want to make you guys aware of what's going on in this industry. But, yeah, man, shout out to Estes for going in there and saying, hey, let us help your drivers. Let us see what we can do. Let us see if we can take on some of your equipment, take on some of your drivers. Shout out to Estes. Amen. So, man, hey, like I said, I'm for the driver. The podcast is for the driver first and foremost. And then we do everything else from dispatching to brokers to shippers to receivers. We talk to them. We want to know about them. Anything transportation, we talk about it. So if you have anything transportation, man, hit me at the freighttrapping at gmail.com. Send me your questions. Send me your information. If you would like to be a part of the show, send me your information and we can talk about it. Hey, shout out to Bonehead Truckers. Hey, man, good thing we got going on. I think I want to try to do something with them. Also, I hope we can get that collaborated. He has a good thing going on over there. It's something totally different from what we do. And that's what I like about it. It's something totally different from what we do. So, shout out to you guys. Have a good morning, and we'll see you next time.